Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a second look at our new renditions of our Interceptor. What we've done basically is, of course, we actually tried a whole new model take on it with a bit large. It didn't actually quite work out like we wanted. So we went back to the original design here and we basically stripped out the 6 internal forward thrusters and plated it up, put on 2 large thrusters on the rear, added a second battery, moved the antenna to the nose, and that's pretty much the changes we've gone with here. Now what you'll notice is that it has a heck of a lot more fuel time for it, and even with those primary thrusters running, we have almost a full hour of fuel time once it's fully charged. And it really picks up. As you can see, it just went to 90 meters a second in probably about 3 or 4 seconds there. We'll get the actual time later. The weapon system remains the same. It is still using light armor, which on small chassis is a little better than just basically a skeletal framework. So what we're going to do is do a quick little example of how you could use this to engage multiple craft. So, of course, you'd come out and target something like a large transport like this. Of course, I'm not the best pilot here. Or gunner, really. But you can see it makes pretty quick work once it starts hitting. Armored glass is actually fairly well protected, so it chews through that fairly fast. The general gist of the the spacecraft here, is to intercept and engage other craft of different types. So it's not the most maneuverable craft, but it is fairly fast. And as you can see there, it just really chews through that light armor. And like I said, on small craft, light armor is very much just a skin. It's a skeletal structure. It doesn't really give you that much protection. Unless, of course, you're layering it or placing it with gaps to accommodate for that, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much the updates we've done here. We've actually made it more central to its actual role. And it has not really added much of any mass to it, really. There's a bit of a weight increase from the 2 large thrusters, but most of that was offset by removing those internal thrusters as well. The cockpit is still a bit exposed, so it's not that good of a defensive weapon. It's more just purely offense. The design is asymmetrical. It does compartmentalize a lot of the internal things over here on the weapon side, so when you're dealing with those auto turrets, whether they be internal turrets or they be the actual Gatling turrets or missile launchers, they're going to target your cockpit, of course. So your left-hand side, where most of your equipment is completely operable. And that way, if you take fire on the rear section here and it cuts through, kills your generators, the only thing you've really got to worry about is the fact that it'll rip through your O2 generator and your O2 tank, which are directly behind the cockpit. But you'll still have enough lifespan in the cockpit for oxygen that you should be able to disengage in RTB. The docking procedure is still the same, very straightforward. The balls have been proven so far in my testing to be very effective at helping you dock under hazardous situations or when you may have lost some of those controls. Basically, if you get either of these 2 sections sheared off, you're still going to be completely operable enough to get back to base. Of course, obviously the right-hand side with the cockpit, you have no forward thrusters, so you're going to have to use maneuvering thrusters to get there. Alright, well that's pretty much covering the update here, and I hope that was helpful and inspiring for your own designs. I'll get this updated in the workshop, and as always, thanks for watching.